Welcome to the Operation Bohica podcast. Yesterday I was traveling and one of my friends posted on social media the news that one of the greatest Jets players of all time, Nick Mangold, passed away at the young age of 41. I was completely floored by the news. I had heard a couple of weeks before that he was requesting a donor. He needed a kidney transplant, and quite frankly, I expected a happy ending to the story. I expected him to find a match, get his kidney transplant, and continue on with his life. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be. Nick Mangold, gone at the age of 41, leaving behind a wife and four children, and a legacy not only with New York, with the New York Jets, but also with Ohio State. Nick Mangold was born not far from the Cincinnati area, went to Ohio State, was a member of the 2002 Ohio State National Championship team, which beat Miami in the Fiesta Bowl. And he was a freshman backup. And then after that, he became a 3-year starter. Upon completing his time at Ohio State, Nick Mangold was drafted in the first round of the 2006 NFL draft by the New York Jets, behind DeBrickashaw Ferguson, who was I believe, the number fourth pick out of Virginia. Nick Mangold, I believe, was the somewhere between 27th and 30th, and that was the beginning of Eric Mangini uh, assembling what I think is the greatest Jets offensive line of all time, with DeBrickashaw Ferguson at left tackle, Hall of Famer Alan Faneca at left guard, soon to be and should be Hall of Famer Nick Mangold at center, and then you had Brandon Moore at right guard and Damian Woody at right tackle. And then in 2010, Matt Slauson replaced Alan Faneca. And even though Matt Slauson, not a Hall of Famer, Matt Slauson was solid. And that was part of the beginning of a great era. And then in 2009 and 2010, upon the arrival of Rex Ryan, Nick Mangold, the heart and soul of the offensive line, an offensive line which, again, the greatest offensive line in the history of the New York Jets, helped the Jets get to back-to-back AFC title games. Nick Mangold, if you go back in time, he was replacing another Hall of Famer, Kevin Mawai. Kevin Mawai, a Hall of Famer who was the center for the New York Jets from 2000 from 1998 to 2005. And props to Eric Mangini for seeing the potential of Nick Mangold. Nick Mangold played and started in 164 games, played all 11 seasons for the green and white. And I cannot emphasize enough the fact that he replaced a future Hall of Famer in Kevin Mawai. Nick Mangold, a 7-time Pro Bowler in his 11 seasons as the center of the New York Jets. I believe he is a finalist for the Hall of Fame class of 2026. I think he, I think he should get in. I think he will get in. Unfortunately, Nick Mangold will not live to see his induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. A sad moment in the history of the New York Jets. A tough moment for me as a big fan of his and as a fan of the New York Jets. I watched Rex Ryan's emotional tribute yesterday. Rex Ryan in tears. Willie Colon on SNY. Um, I did not know that on the final game of Rex Ryan's tenure, knowing he was going to get fired, Nick Mangold, showing the kind of professional and the kind of man that he is, even though he was hurt, he wanted to play in that last game for Rex Ryan. Uh, I watched a little bit of the podcast that he did with Mark Sanchez. You could tell Nick Mangold was a very grounded individual, but also had a lot of charisma at the same time. Yesterday, the New York Jets went out and it wasn't pretty, but they did beat the Cincinnati Bengals, uh, 39 to 38. Like I said, I was traveling, so I did not see the game. I was uh, I was on the highway and looking at the phone at the same time, and it just didn't look good. And I'm like, you guys could at least win this game for Nick Mangold. Um, right before I get home, it's 38-32. I turn on the TV. The Bears Ravens game ended. They went to the Jets Bengals game. The Jets pull off an incredible comeback to win 39 to 38. I want to believe that Nick Mangold was up there, up in heaven, asking the good Lord, hey, give the Jets a win today. Give the Jets their first win of the 2025 season. Give Aaron Glenn his first win as New York Jets head coach. Uh, you know, again, are the Jets gonna probably go 10-7? Probably not. But yesterday, I'll give the Jets credit, whether it was directly or indirectly. They won it for Nick Mangold, and I got to give the Jets props for that. Rest in peace, Nick Mangold, the greatest center in the history of the New York Jets.